Welcome to Southwest Desert, where adventure meets the arid beauty of the American Southwest. Join us as we explore the rugged landscapes, uncover hidden historical gems, and dive deep into the rich legends and culture of this iconic region. Subscribe now and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on our latest desert adventures. Please leave a like or comment. This is very helpful. Let's journey together into the heart of the Southwest Desert. Welcome to Southwest Desert, where today we're diving into one of the most intriguing lost mine stories from California's unforgiving desert, the legend of the lost mule, Shoe Gold. Picture yourself in California's harsh desert landscape, where the chocolate mountains rise like ancient sentinels from the earth. The year is sometime between 1892 and 1916, during the heyday of the American Girl and Hedges mines in the nearby Muchacho Mountains. These were boom times for gold mining in the region. The American Girl mine operated steadily from 1892 to 1900, and again from 1913 to 1916, while the Hedges mine, later known as Tumco, saw continuous operation from 1892 to 1909, with intermittent activity until 1916. It was during this golden age that a lone prospector was about to stumble upon what could be one of the richest gold discoveries in the American West. But like many tales of lost mines, this one begins with desperation and ends in mystery. Our story takes place in the treacherous terrain surrounding Picacho Peak, about 25 miles north of Yuma, where the Colorado River winds its way through the desert. This isn't your typical desert landscape. It's a maze of volcanic flows, rock-paved mesas, and massive washes that could confuse even the most experienced desert rat. And into this deadly puzzle of nature rode our mysterious prospector, a man whose name has been lost to time. Now, here's where things get interesting. This wasn't just any prospector's journey. Our man was violently ill with dysentery when he was ferried across from Arizona to Picacho. Despite his condition, he was determined to make it to an oasis called Dos Palmas, nearly 90 airline miles away. 4.5 hours into his journey, weakness overtook him. According to Carl Walker of Gold Rock Ranch, who would later become intimately familiar with this story, a sick man traveling by horse and leading a pack mule could have covered no more than 16 miles in that time. Our prospector found himself at a saddle between two hills. Whether they were high or low would later become a point of contention in our tale. As he lay there, struggling to recover, fate decided to play her hand. Thank you for joining your desert frontiersman Alan for another lost gold tale. If you would like to help support my time and channel, hit the super thanks heart icon on the bottom of the video and contribute. This is very helpful. Relax and enjoy. There, jutting from the earth, was a ledge of rock so rich with gold that it would barely crumble when struck. This wasn't just any gold deposit. This was the stuff of prospectors' dreams. The ore was richer than anything he had ever seen before, with golden streakings clearly visible in the rock. And scattered below the ledge, placer gold, eroded from the mother lode above, glinting dully in the desert sun. But our prospector was too weak even to build a stone discovery monument. In a moment of desperate ingenuity, he did something that would give this lost mine its name. He took off his vest, folded it carefully, and placed it on the ledge. To keep it from blowing away in the desert wind, he weighted it down with a spare mule shoe from his pack animal. It was a makeshift marker, he hoped, that would guide him back to his fortune. Taking a few samples from the ledge and one last look at the terrain to fix it in his mind, he mounted his horse and continued his journey. But fortune had other plans. The prospector made it to the coast, but his illness worsened. He ended up in the Veterans Hospital at Sawtell, where he would spend his final days. But before he passed, he shared his secret with a man named William M. Smith. Now, Smith's exact relationship to our prospector is shrouded in mystery. Some say he was a brother-in-law, others a son-in-law, and some claim there was no relation at all. What we do know is that Smith visited the dying man in the hospital for 2 years, and eventually the prospector gave him something precious, a map showing the route he'd taken that fateful day. "I'll never get back now," the old prospector told Smith. "If you find it, send me just enough to make me comfortable." With those words, our original discoverer fades from history, not even his name remembered by those who would later tell his tale. But this is where our story truly begins to get interesting. William Smith was so convinced of the mine's existence that, in 1927, he bought property at the old Hogue Ferry landing, at the mouth of Gavilan Wash, about 7 miles above Picacho. He named it the 4S Ranch, and it would become his base of operations for what would turn into a more than 20-year search for the lost gold. Let's paint a picture of this remarkable landscape. Above the old gold camp lies mile after mile of desert mountain wilderness. The area is cut by numerous major washes: White Wash, Bear Gulch, Carrizo, Gavilan, and Julian Para washes, among others. Each of these has yielded placer gold, making the search even more tantalizing and confusing. In those days, there were several possible routes our sick prospector might have taken. There was the river road from Picacho that crossed the mouths of all these washes. There was Hoga's road up Gavilan Wash to Indian Mesa, along which he once trail-herded hogs from his Arizona ranch. And there was the road Julian Para had roughed out from an upper tributary of the Wash that bears his name to Mesquite Diggings, which he had discovered. Adding to the complexity were the numerous deep-rutted Indian trails leading to watering places and through the easy passes, still used by Indians and Mexican and American miners. Today, most of these routes are gone. The river road lies submerged by backed-up waters of Imperial Dam, and Para's mining road has almost vanished. The Indian trails are broken and weathered and unused. Smith's search became something of a legend in itself. He explored every possible route the sick prospector might have taken, his search area growing wider with each passing year. By 1932, he was focusing on the area between his 4S Ranch and Midway Well, especially in the area where Para Wash heads, east of Imperial Gables. Ed Rochester, who had prospected all of the Picacho country, first heard of the lost mule shoe gold from Smith around 1932. When they discussed it, Smith was concentrating his hunt between the 4S Ranch and Midway Well. Rochester believed that Carrizo, Gavilan, and Para washes were all possible locations for the lost ledge, with Para being the most likely. By 1937, Smith had shifted his attention to the main northern tributary of Para Wash, near the Great Sonovia Natural Water Tank. This area held particular promise. According to Clyde Stewart of Picacho, every wash that comes into Para from the north side will pan gold, but Sonovia has the most. The old main Indian trail passed right by Sonovia tanks, which never go dry. Julian Para Wash, which the old-timers invariably called Houlihan, has 3 chief tributaries: the left with Mona Tank, the center with Willow Spring, and the right with Sonovia tanks. Julian Para himself had been placering gold near Sonovia tanks 65 years before our story takes place. But some, like Carl Walker, suggest a different possibility altogether. Given that the prospector's destination was specifically Dos Palmas, could he have kept south of the Chocolate Mountains the entire way? He might have traveled on a northwest line, past Midway Well and on until he struck the old Bradshaw or Chuckawalla Trail, then followed it past Canyon Springs to Dos Palmas. Smith's final known search came in the winter of 1949. He stopped at Gold Rock Ranch, where he spent the night talking with the Walkers. That evening, He was more confident than ever. "I know exactly where it is," he insisted. "I'm going right up there and find it tomorrow." He even urged Carl Walker to come with him, promising to "fill that box with gold for you," pointing to the old trunk the Walkers used as a wood box. But the desert had other plans. The next morning, Smith's car got stuck in the sand of a wash not far from the ranch. He spent the entire day waiting to be rescued. As he prepared to return to the coast, he assured the Walkers grimly, "I'll be back." But he never did return, and no one reported hearing from him again. The lost mule shoe gold remains one of those tantalizingly possible lost mine stories. The details are specific enough to be believable, yet vague enough to maintain its mystery. Somewhere out there, between two hills, high or low, there might still be a ledge of gold-rich rock. Perhaps the old vest and mule shoe have long since weathered away, but the gold, if it exists, remains, waiting for someone who knows both what they're looking for and how to survive while looking. As Carl Walker once said, "It's anybody's story now, and anybody's gold." But as our tale reminds us, the desert knows how to guard its secrets. This harsh land has claimed lives before, and will claim them again if given the chance. Perhaps that's the real lesson of the lost mule shoe gold, that sometimes the true value lies not in finding the treasure, but in the wisdom gained from searching for it. This has been Southwest Desert. Join us next time for another story from the wild Southwest frontier. Check out my large catalog of Southwest videos and playlists on forgotten historical tales and characters, lost gold legends, and adult bedtime stories. Happy trails! Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more great content. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.